Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a pre-ride check and oil change on the 650L. Okay, so we're going to do the pre-ride check, which consists of tire pressure, chain adjustment, and lubing all moving components. I'll put that on stuff labels.
Yeah. This one's a dual source, we went ahead and did a light check as well.
We have just warmed the bike up to operating temperature, and we are now going to change the oil and filter. So there's a drain plug on the frame, and
This is called the dry zone. So to make the engine smaller on the bottom, to keep the engine low in the frame, they don't put a large oil pan on it. They keep it flush and tight as possible, and they keep the oil reserve in the frame tube, and that also allows it to sit lower, and it cools it because it pumps it out of the engine into the frame, which will be cooler than the engine is, and allows it to cool down as it goes back into the motor.
okay.
There's a rag.
We are now going to do the oil filter.
Be ready for it so it doesn't shoot out at you like that. Didn't go as planned.
I didn't think it was going to shoot out like that. I've never seen anything like that.
You look totally amateur now. I'm gonna have to include that in the video.
I'm going to leave that.
There's a little spring in here. I'll make sure that that spring stays in its location. And there's also a mark on the cap. It has to go to a specific location on the engine, right there. You have to line those up, because that's an oil gallery from this tube. And if you misalign it, it's not going to get oil flow, and it's going to damage the engine.
Okay.
So whenever you're taking the cap off like that, you either need
So there's a mark on the side of it.
ahead of time, or pay attention when it pops off, and not shoot out and drop on the ground like it did to us. But I already knew that that was there. New engine oil filter, actually right on them, towards filter cover, outside, this side, and spring towards engine. So you don't put it in backwards.
Did you already put the spring back in?
Spring is still in there. If you had a filter kit that replaced the O-ring, you just put a little bit of lubricant, like a little bit of engine oil on that O-ring to make sure it slides in without binding up. But obviously mine's soaked in oil now because it fell out on the ground. you gotta make sure, have to make sure that everything is in place when you put it together. Doesn't seem so important, but it's extremely important when you'll be replacing your engine.
It's not bad.
Yeah. All your oil goes through that filter. If it's not in correctly, it most certainly could cause some serious damage. These do not need to be crazy tight either. Just snug like that is more than enough. And I like to take a little bit of brake parts cleaner. Perfect. Cleaning off spilled engine oil. Okay, so after oil's drained, filter's changed, everything's cleaned up, we fill up the oil. On this particular bike, they all change, they all vary a little bit. You'll look in your manual, find out exactly how much oil your bike holds. This bike holds 1.9 liters, so I'm going to pour in 1 liter. And because it's a dry sump, it will not pour directly into the engine. You need to put a liter in first, start the bike to pump it out of the frame into the crankcase, shut the bike off, then add the remaining 0.9 liters. If you try and put it in all at once, it will overflow and pour all over the bike. Now you can add the remaining 900 milliliters. Install the dipstick and oil cap. We're going to run the engine to operating temperature, and the correct way to check the engine oil level on this particular bike is to get it hot, shut it off, let it sit for approximately 1 minute, and then you can check the level. Checking the level cold will be inaccurate. It has to be hot and sit for a minute. Engine's hot, up to temperature. We shut it off, it's sat for roughly a minute or so. Take it out, give it a wipe, just lower mark, upper mark. Check it, and it should be pretty close. If it's not 100%, we can always adjust it a little bit. Add a little bit, no big deal. And we're right there. Right where we need to be. Maybe add 100 milliliters, but that's about it. And that's all it takes. Should be ready to ride.
That was a basic pre-ride check and oil change on the 650L. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.